On January 5th, 2026, concerns over artist safety once again entered the public spotlight after South Korean police confirmed the arrest of a foreign national for violating a restraining order related to BTS member Jungkook. The suspect, a Brazilian woman in her 30s, was detained after allegedly approaching Jungkook's residence in Yongsan District, Seoul. Despite a legally enforced order requiring her to remain at least 100 meters away from the property, the incident has reignited widespread discussions surrounding stalking, stalking behavior, and the persistent security risks faced by globally recognized K-pop artists. While Jungkook has long been one of the most prominent figures in the industry, this case highlights an issue that extends beyond fame: the challenge of ensuring personal safety in the face of obsessive behavior. According to law enforcement sources, the woman was arrested after being found in violation of a court-issued proximity restriction that had been imposed weeks earlier. The restraining order was reportedly issued after the suspect entered the area surrounding Jungkook's home without permission on 2 separate occasions in the previous month. Following those incidents, authorities implemented a 100-meter no-approach order intended to prevent further contact or proximity. Despite this legal measure, the suspect allegedly returned to the vicinity of Jungkook's residence, prompting police intervention and arrest on January 5, 2026. Officials emphasized that violating a protective order constitutes a serious offense under South Korean law, particularly when repeated behavior suggests potential risk. In South Korea, restraining orders are issued to prevent repeated harassment, stalking, or unwanted contact that may escalate into more serious threats. In cases involving public figures, these orders are often applied when unauthorized entry or persistent monitoring has been documented. Once issued, violations can result in immediate detention and further legal consequences. Authorities handling the Jungkook-related case reportedly treated the matter with urgency due to prior incidents and repeated noncompliance, which raised red flags regarding escalation risk. While specific charges have not been publicly detailed, police confirmed that the investigation is proceeding according to established legal protocols. This incident is not viewed in isolation. Over the past several years, stalking and stalking-related cases involving K-pop idols have repeatedly surfaced, underscoring an ongoing challenge within the entertainment industry. High-profile artists like Jungkook often face heightened risk due to constant public exposure and intense fan interest. Security experts note that repeat visits to private residences, even without physical harm, can create psychological distress and long-term safety concerns. In Jungkook's case, the recurrence of such incidents has amplified calls for stronger enforcement and preventative measures rather than reactive responses alone. Following reports of the arrest, fans across the globe expressed concern regarding Jungkook's safety. Rather than focusing on speculation, many fans emphasized the importance of respecting personal boundaries and condemned stalking behavior unequivocally. Online discussions centered on the need for stricter enforcement of existing laws and enhanced cooperation between agencies and security teams. Notably, a significant portion of fan responses highlighted a desire for privacy, safety, and dignity for artists, signaling a shift away from toxic fan culture toward accountability. While public discussion often focuses on legal outcomes, experts stress that stalking cases can have lasting psychological effects on victims. Repeated invasions of personal space, even without direct confrontation, can lead to anxiety, heightened vigilance, and emotional fatigue. For artists like Jungkook, whose careers already involve intense scrutiny, such incidents add an invisible burden. Mental health professionals emphasize that addressing stalking is not solely about punishment, but also about prevention, awareness, and systemic protection. To understand why the recent stalking case involving Jungkook has drawn such intense attention, it is necessary to examine the broader context of stalking behavior within the K-pop industry. Stalking refers to individuals who cross the line from fandom into obsession, engaging in behaviors that invade artists' privacy. Over the years, South Korea's entertainment industry has faced repeated challenges in addressing this issue, particularly for artists with massive global recognition. These behaviors often include following artists to private locations, attempting unauthorized access to residences, and persistent monitoring of daily routines. While not all cases escalate into physical harm, authorities and security experts widely agree that repeated violations increase the risk of escalation. Jungkook's case fits into a long-standing pattern rather than being an isolated incident. Security professionals note that private residences represent one of the most vulnerable points for public figures. Unlike concert venues or official schedules, residential locations are designed for privacy and rest. When individuals repeatedly appear at these locations, it creates an environment of unpredictability and emotional strain. In the January 2026 case, the suspect's repeated presence near Jungkook's residence, despite legal restrictions, highlighted how persistent behavior can undermine even established protective measures. This is why violations of residential restraining orders are treated with heightened seriousness by law enforcement. South Korean law allows authorities to escalate responses when restraining orders are ignored. Once an individual violates a court-issued no-approach order, police are authorized to intervene immediately. Repeated violations can lead to detention, fines, or further legal action depending on severity and risk assessment. In Jungkook's case, the arrest on January 5th followed prior warnings and documented violations. This sequence indicates that authorities recognized a pattern rather than a single lapse in judgment. Legal experts emphasize that such enforcement is essential to prevent normalization of boundary violations. The fact that the suspect in this case is a foreign national introduces additional complexity when individuals travel internationally to engage in stalking behavior. Coordination between immigration authorities, law enforcement, and legal systems becomes necessary. While nationality does not change the application of South Korean law, it can affect enforcement logistics and follow-up measures. Authorities handling the Jungkook case have not released detailed information regarding the suspect's visa status or subsequent legal procedures, but confirmed that the case is being processed according to domestic law. This aspect of the case has sparked renewed discussions about cross-border accountability in stalking incidents involving global celebrities. Although no official statement has been released regarding this specific incident, entertainment agencies have increasingly emphasized zero tolerance towards stalking behavior. In recent years, agencies representing top-tier artists have strengthened cooperation with law enforcement and implemented monitoring systems to track repeated threats. Cases like Jungkook's reinforce the importance of proactive protection rather than reactive measures. Industry insiders note that consistent legal enforcement sends a clear message that invasions of privacy will not be ignored. Beyond physical security, experts stress the importance of psychological safety. Repeated encounters with stalking behavior, even when handled legally, can contribute to stress, anxiety, and a constant sense of vigilance. For artists who already live under intense public scrutiny, such incidents add another layer of emotional burden. Mental health professionals argue that addressing stalking requires a holistic approach that considers long-term well-being, not only immediate legal outcomes. The renewed attention surrounding Jungkook's case has encouraged broader discussions about emotional safety for artists, following reports of the arrest. Many fans publicly condemned the suspect's actions. Rather than defending or minimizing the behavior, fan communities emphasized respect for personal boundaries and expressed solidarity with Jungkook.